Now this next segment's going to be two people talking about four walls.
It'd help if we had a postcard.
I know.
But yeah, with Four Walls. There was the Evan Hickox.
Yes.
And this guy's he's a graphic artist or graphic designer.
Yeah.
From Mexico, or he's working in
He's
Mexico.
working in Mexico. And he's been all over. He's had a bunch of shows. He's really popular, and he makes a lot of money doing that for different companies. I don't want to say what companies he's done work for, but they're pretty famous, recognizable brands that we can go to the mall and buy stuff.
So he's a
He's a graphic designer, and kind of like put stuff on. I think he's
he's not like a street artist throwing up, stencils, or does he?
no. This is more work. I'm not saying those people don't do any work.
Right. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
this-
there's totally different levels. Doing something corporately sanctioned and doing something.
It's a little more studio, and a little bit more focus on what he needs to put out there.
Okay.
I think he did skateboards also.
Yeah, I remember something about skateboards. That's why I was thinking maybe he's a stenciler and throwing stuff on the street.
No, he's a little bit above that.
Oh, we have hierarchy.
What's next? So did you like the work?
I was pleasantly surprised. I was going in expecting to see stale work, and the prints weren't bad. They weren't really engaging me though, and they were prints of like
Veladoras.
candles, and then I forgot what the other prints were. But then I stumbled upon the drawings. They were what were they? Were they gouache?
Yes.
The
I think
gouache.
they were gouache, yeah.
Was that gouache? How they
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, gouache. And those were like really because they were a mix. It was gouache and ink.
Yeah.
So those
It's a
drawings
more
were
mixed
really
media.
nice.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, those were nice.
Those were the ones that actually like pop up in my head right now.
Yeah.
The other ones, yeah, like I agree with you. They're just there, and you see them, and you kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. He made how many, like 20, 30? Put them up on the wall, and
Prints.
they're prints, and take up a lot of space.
Right.
But
But it was the drawings that
the
were,
drawings, those were the ones that really captured me.
Yeah.
Really like those.
I mean, the imagery that he used, he was kind of urban, but
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was obviously Latin American, I guess.
Yes.
But Mexican specifically.
Because of the trucks.
Yeah.
And selling the fruit. And there was even one piece I really liked. It was this like guy selling death, and there was another one about like things that are dead. Like there was this guy shining shoes, like the art of shining shoes. In Mexico, you go to like a plaza, or and you can see a guy on a Sunday morning asking, "Hey, you want me to shine your shoes?" It's a dying art.
Now that you mention it, like I kind of had an inkling of like when I saw the prints, they reminded me a little bit of I forgot their names. It's three Cuban artists. They showed at the first Voltan show. Los Carpinteros.
Yeah.
That's what they are. And it kind of reminded me of that. So when you brought up this dying, like I think of Cuba, I think of like old 1940s cars and guys in like suits and hats and like so when you brought up that shoe shining thing, it's like yeah, that's totally like a past life kind of thing, which I used to feel when I was younger going into Mexico, like kind of a step back in time, but now Mexico is like hand in hand with what's going on everywhere else.
Sarah Green Reed and Sean Smith at D. Berman.
October 18th to November 21st.
Yes.
Hope guys you don't mind that I'm putting dates.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well,
I already did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what do you think?
What do I think? Well, I thought it was an interesting pairing of artists.
Mm-hmm.
Not very much similarity to them. I guess you could say that since the Reed's work was kind of digital in nature,
Mm-hmm.
and Smith's work was kind of reproducing the whole digital pixelized effect. That there was a connection there.
I like
strength
that,
of
and
the
I
work.
felt that. I mean, and I don't want to say that's stretching it, but yeah, I like that. Yeah, I didn't really think of the whole electronic media, and then if you blow that up to ridiculous level, it becomes so pixelized. And this is kind of like what that is. It's a
Yeah.
sculpture, and it's like pixelized
Mhm.
in a way.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree that was a strong connection between the artists.
Mhm.
This is a digital show.
And I was actually more pleased with Smith's work in person than I was when I'd seen the images online or through press. Because originally I thought they were just made out of Legos. And
That's yeah, exactly.
I was like, but when I actually saw it, they're actually made of pieces of wood. I just thought that was a little more interesting.
yeah, the piece would remind me of that game. What's the name of that game? When you stack those little.
Jenga?
Jenga.
Yeah, it reminded me of that kind of piece.
Please tell me you didn't pull any pieces out of the sculpture.
Yeah, like exactly.
And it collapses.
Oh no, you Jenga!
Ah, you paid for that. Yeah, I like that. I thought they were great, and there was one particular, and we'll talk about this in a minute. The one with the birds and
Yes.
it's like a how you say it?
Branch.
Yeah, branch. That I thought it was really really creative and really really cool.
Yeah, I really studied that one because I was
Mhm.
wondering how that was being balanced or counterbalanced, or like
Mhm.
I was like really intensely looking at the twig, like seeing if I could like sneak a little peek at a
Inside.
piece of bar or something
Mhm.
that was holding it all up. Because I mean, it looks pretty delicate, and
Mhm.
managed to put like 2-3 birds at the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weight on the other side.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was really impressed. I think that one was kind of the more visually interesting one.
yes, it was.
Just because it was kind of minimalist, there was not a
Mhm.
lot to it, but it was just the impact was really better. Now, as far as his work in general, Salvo here.
Yeah,
has an opinion.
actually it's the show in general. I wasn't. It. I looked at them both, and I did catch on that digital or the digitization or whatever you want to call it aspect of both of the works. And for me, it threw me back to the mid '90s, late '90s, like the Prince, was it the Reed's Prince, the Sarah Reed, her work was like that's the kind of stuff I was playing around with in high school. You know, I would
Mhm.
put a penny or a shirt on the scanner, on the flatbed scanner. I would scan it, and then we'd do digital collages and
Built
make
on top of that. Yeah.
Photoshop 3.0, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what that stuff was. I mean, they look nice. Don't get me wrong; they're well designed. The colors are okay. And then the same thing with the Sean Smith work is he hit on that digital, pixelation kind of making a sculpture.
Mhm.
But he didn't go past that. So for me, I just kind of made it stuck in this digital revolution that
Mhm.
happened 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I actually saw some work in San Antonio. I wish I knew the artist's name, but it was in Joan Grona Studios or Joan Grona Gallery, and it was kind of the same thing. And I want to say it was done with Legos, but it looked, there was also paint applied to it.
Mhm.
So like from a distance, it kind of looked like objects that you would find in a fish
Oh,
tank for decorations.
Mhm.
But it had this weird like because of the color, the way it was painted, like it flattened out in some spaces and it really jumped out in other spaces.
Mhm.
So he was really working that digital, what we're really seeing and what's actually there.
Mhm.
And that's what I see failing in Sean Smith. That he doesn't do it. He sticks more to pixels represented. They extend this far. This pixel color extends so far.
Next, I guess we're going to talk about Colleen Smith's show at Women in Their Work,
NTSC.
NTSC, which stands for. I guess I don't know what the actual acronym stands for, but
Not the same color as the joke that they came out with. It was some standard of color.
but originally, like NTSC is the committee that kind of talks about, North American television and I guess the formatting of video and whatnot. So again, she obviously has a background in film and video. And she was She was a professor at UT. Is that correct?
Yeah, she was in the
RTF.
Yeah, RTF. There you go.
Radio, film, and television.
I saw the show, but I kind of just did an in and out. and I promised myself that I would go back and check it out. And usually with shows that I say that, I usually go back at least 2 other times to really absorb the show, and I didn't go back. So I really can't say much about the show other than that I recognized her referencing the technical aspects of video, and that it also, as I know that she's an African American artist, that she's also using that discussion. And then again, she also they had that screening for Night of the Hunt. Is it Night of the Hunter?
Yes.
And so that would have revealed something as well, which I didn't attend that screening, and I've never seen that movie either.
Yeah,
so
same here.
So I'm kind of in the dark,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And you kind of were if you went into the gallery too, because very, very dark.
Strike 2.
What did you guys think of that one wall that was backlit drawings done with marker? Do you remember those?
Yeah, they were kind of like watercolors, maybe, or like
I
transparency.
think they were like marker on paper.
Right.
And they were just lit from behind, and they were all different screen test patterns from
Is that like
across the
TV
world.
station?
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like
Like old time
when it used to go off the air.
Yeah, exactly.
you
Yeah,
get that. I personally, I thought they were interesting, but the quality of the drawings themselves were just so like elemental that it just kind of distracted me from what she was trying to say, I guess.
But no, I mean, even looking at the postcard here, like that's, last month's Art in America, it was Mary Heilman. That totally looks like an abstract painting, and that's what was. Those are the transparencies that you were talking about that were hanging on the wall, and it's dealing with color, it's dealing with video, it's, I can't go any deeper than that.